What's up? So this is not the morning show. It is like what, early afternoon? Something like that. Today I'm going to just be on, this is going to be brief. I'm going to be on to react to this 8.3, watch the new developer content update preview. Yeah, way to do the SEO, Blizzard. Apparently there's a big announcement about 8.3 among some other things, and I know nothing about it. I have no idea. All I saw was my Discord channel just blowing up. I'm like, oh shit, what are people saying? And so I glanced up a little bit, and then people were talking something 8.3 and other stuff, things that I didn't really pay attention to. And so I'm going to watch this thing. I'm going to react to it. I'm going to pause throughout, so please bear with me. I'm also doing this while streaming, and so people who are watching right now, I'm not going to engage all that much. So I apologize in advance, but well, strap in, because we're going to go for a bit of a ride. We're going to find out how right I was about some things and how wrong I was about some other things. We'll probably find out if the Shadowlands thing was fake or not. Don't spoil me, stream. But let me turn up this volume, make sure that we can hear everything, and let's go.
Hey everybody. It has been an amazing
Ian,
month
great.
for World of Warcraft. Ever
Where's
since WoW
Jeremy?
Classic launched on August 26th, we've seen millions of players around the world jump in to explore Azeroth as it stood before the Cataclysm. Whether you're revisiting old memories or experiencing it for the very first time, it's been humbling for the team to share in the community's passion and enthusiasm around this classic experience. We've seen players hit max level. We have seen Onyxia and Ragnaros fall. Several sulfuruses have been crafted around the world. We've even heard about a couple of epic BOEs ninja looted, shame on you. And many Devil Swords have fallen and donated their leather to fuel the server's economy of Devil Sword leather. We've also heard from many of you that you're ready for something new to sink your teeth into. And so, while we originally had this Phase 2 plan that was going to be Dire Maul Dungeon, World Bosses, and the Honor System for PvP, I'm happy to announce that we're going to break Dire Maul out separately and get it out there as soon as possible. In fact, just a couple of weeks from now, the week of October 15th, the Dire Maul Dungeon will go live worldwide in Classic.
15th.
So get ready to craft those ogre suits.
Today is the, damn, next week. Well, you know what? That's cool. I'm glad that they're separating Dire Maul from the rest of the stuff, because I mean, like, there's some people that are like, okay, what do you do, Dire Maul? Yeah, I still like got a bunch of raid gear from Molten Core and Onyxia and all that stuff, but getting a little bit out more, getting stuff out a little bit earlier. Hey, can't complain about that, right?
Practice those tribute runs and get your hands on that sweet loot from Dire Maul. Of course, we still have the Honor System and World Bosses just around the corner after that. I'll share more detailed information on exactly when to expect that as soon as we have it.
So it's like phase 0.5.
Can't wait to see everybody jump into Dire Maul.
Cool.
Now, it's also been an incredible couple of weeks in Battle for Azeroth. Just last week, we saw patch 8.25 go live, and players around the world got to experience the thrilling end to the war campaign, as Saurfang's long journey brought him to stand side by side with Anduin in front of the gates of Orgrimmar, facing down Sylvanas and her forces to bring this battle that has consumed all of Azeroth to an end once and for all.
And that's all that happened.
But in the meantime, there are other threats that have been lurking in the shadows. Lest we forget our adventures in Nazjatar, and at the end of Eternal Palace, when we faced down Queen Ashara herself, we did so against the backdrop of an ancient prison built to contain one of the mightiest of all evils that Azeroth has ever known, the old god Nzoth. And as Queen Ashara fell, with her last gasp, the lock, the final seal that contained Nzoth, was broken, and he was fully unleashed. And so what does that mean for us? Well, I'm excited to announce that the next major content update coming to World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth is Visions of Nzoth.
Yeah,
I will answer that question and so much more. For the first time, we're going to see an old god unleashed in their full might, in their dark fury. We have seen Cthulhu's Eye. We have seen Yogg-Saron locked away in a prison. We have heard of Ysarge, who perished long ago.
Wait. I thought it was... Aren't people saying, like, no, it's not Yasarj, it's Yasaraj or something like that? So, you heard it.
Who perished long, long ago. We have heard of Yasarj, who perished long, long ago.
I'm gonna say that from now on, because fewer syllables, much easier to pronounce. Yasarj.
Go.
Boom.
But now, for the first time, we are contending with an old god that is fully free of all shackles, to roam Azeroth, to reach out with his tentacles and tendrils and plot and plan and undermine all that keeps us safe.
Wait. So, I know I'm purposely not looking at chat. Sorry about that, guys. But I thought that the old gods were just kind of tethered. I thought they were like embedded into the planet, because otherwise, like Amantul would have just been like, oh, that one's free, boop, and then just like chucked them into the sun or something like that. So I don't know about roaming in this sense. I mean, it's just the game director talking, right? So yeah.
That is the threat that we face in Visions of Nzoth.
Cinematic.
Ny'alotha, the sleeping city, the dreaming city.
Wait, did you say Ny'alotha? Oh,
is
shit.
the domain of the Black Empire. It is this alternate world inhabited by the old gods and their minions. And it's not a distant location for us to travel to via a starship or a portal. It's in fact all around us, on the other side of this thin veil. And what Nzoth is doing,
it's like the upside down. Okay.
Bringing
that's awesome.
Nightmares and dark
that's pretty
visions
sweet.
of a future in which the forces of the old god are ascendant into our world. If we don't stop him, there will be nothing left of Azeroth to defend. Because this has been a battle for Azeroth between the Alliance and Horde, but it's also always been a battle for the safety of Azeroth, for the future of Azeroth.
Right.
Our heroes have been waging all along.
Show me pictures.
And this now is coming to its conclusion. Now, Titan facilities across Azeroth are the key to containing, controlling, and understanding the power of Nzoth.
Like
the Titans have always been our world's last bulwark against the assault of the old gods. And so, of course, those facilities are being assaulted by the minions of Nzoth, whether humanoid allies, horrible insects, or the eldritch creatures of the old
like
gods
jumping
themselves.
around?
We're going to have to rally to their defense and actually venture through these rifts into the world that Nzoth's minions inhabit, into an alternate reality that reflects the manifestation of all of Nzoth's goals, to analyze it, understand the power of the old gods, and destroy these visions from within. Let me talk about what that actually means in practice in terms of gameplay. Now, the first sign of Nzoth's power that we're going to witness firsthand are assaults by his minions on two key locations in Azeroth that are home to Titan facilities. Now, these Titan facilities are our world's last defense, our final bulwark against Nzoth coming completely into our world and plunging it into madness. So when an assault is active, the zone will be overcome with powerful lieutenants of Nzoth, enemies to defeat, treasures to uncover, puzzles to solve, and much more. Building out this content has drawn upon everything that we've learned in making assaults in Tides of Vengeance, as well as major zones like Mechagon and Nashtatar most recently.
You know, it's kind of funny because I was talking about like speculating, oh, this is what the Shadowlands are going to be. Like, instead of going off to some new continent, it was going to be a riftful open and then the zone will be affected. You know, it would be something like that. But on top of that, you would jump into that rift itself and travel to like this alternate sort of thing. So, like, obviously I'm wrong. But it's funny that instead of it being the Shadowlands, it turns out to be this whole vision of Ny'alotha, which turns out to be like this the upside down of Azeroth. So kind of
let's take a look at a couple of these locations.
Yeah.
First off, Uldum, home to the Halls of Origination, a great Titan vault, is going to come under regular assault.
He's all tentacle-faced.
When an assault is active in the zone, players will rally to Uldum and battle across the zone against the Old God's minions. Now, another key location in Azeroth that's home to a major Titan facility is the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, back in Pandaria. Mogushan Vaults is what I'm referring to, of course. Now, last time we saw the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, it had been blighted with dark Shah energy unleashed by Garrosh towards the end of Mists of Pandaria.
Right.
Now, the passage of time and the natural redemption that came at the end of that arc has finally healed those old wounds to the land.
Nice.
And the Vale stands fully restored to its original glory for all players to visit in this next content update.
Cool.
At least until it comes under attack by the minions of the old god and is once again plunged into a new type
look, there's
of
like a rift down there too.
Don't worry,
That's
it's
neat.
only going to look like this while Nzoth is actively assaulting it.
Okay.
Otherwise, and in the long run, the original pristine Vale is here to stay.
Okay, so it is
But
like
you will want to journey here, fight off the old god's minions.
It's the mount!
Unravel the mysteries behind them,
wants.
and do everything you can to thwart this great threat that's facing Azeroth.
I wonder if that one, oh god, it was a Golden Lotus quest. It was one where like this one Pandoran person, guy or girl, I forget, who was like constantly trapped. And I remember like to me, the pinnacle of me being totally sick of rep grinding in MoP and Golden Lotus dailies was, oh, I gotta save that one fucker again. It was doo-doo, but anyway.
Now, Visions of Nzoth isn't just the name of this content update, it's also the name of its major new feature. By completing assaults, you'll be able to earn your way into the deepest recesses of Nzoth's mind and the reality that's seeking to manifest itself across Azeroth. There are these horrific visions, which are 1 to 5 player content centered around the capital cities of Orgrimmar and Stormwind that show us an alternate reality of what might come to pass if we do not succeed.
Ooh.
Here we see maps of Orgrimmar and Stormwind indicating the deepening corruption the farther into the cities we go.
Siege of everything.
Now, when you first enter a horrific vision, I can virtually guarantee you're not going to make it very far. Your mind will succumb to Nzoth's relentless assault as your sanity slips away. You'll begin to experience effects, various detrimental effects, some like, cosmetic, some very serious mechanical hindrances, as your sanity literally is drained by being within this horrific vision and by facing off against Nzoth's minions. You will have to retreat, but you'll do it taking with you the things that you've learned along the way.
It is going to be like this progressive
thing.
To
build better defenses for your future trips. Now, we're going to be working with none other than Wrathion, son of Deathwing, who knows a thing or two about corruption.
Cool.
Because his father, of course, was famously plunged into madness by Nzoth's corruption. And what else does Wrathion know very well? Well, of course, legendary cloaks. And Wrathion is going to work with us to create a legendary cloak that will initially provide some sort of shield against Nzoth's sanity-draining attacks. This will enable us to venture deeper and deeper into these visions on our successive visits, earning greater rewards, also unlocking more of the mysteries behind Nzoth's power. This cloak may actually also come in handy when you face off against Nzoth himself further down the road. Now, in addition,
so Nzoth is a guy. I just want to double check. I don't know if they had genders or whatnot, but whatever.
In addition to the legendary cloaks, you'll also be taking fragments of Nzoth's corruption out of these horrific visions with you. You can bring them to Mother and Magni to analyze and research, which will allow you and allow them to strengthen your defenses against Nzoth's corruption and give you new tools to battle him and his minions. These will help your future visits into the horrific visions, allowing you to delve deeper, overcome greater threats, and weather the effects of his sanity-draining attacks.
So, like, a foot-in-the-mouth reaction to this is like, it's like the Chromie scenario, but the problem that I would have initially is that, okay, in order to jump into, we got to jump back to our capital city to do a thing, but then we got to portal jump multiple times just so we can get back to this Titanic research archive so we can retalent our stuff, and that's kind of it's a small pain in the ass, I guess. But okay, another talent thing slash, God, what was it? Netherlight Crucible sort of thing.
Ever since the Mage Tower in Legion, we've been looking for a way to provide a more satisfying solo progression experience and a real challenge that you can work towards on your own without needing a group of dungeon players or raiders or a battleground group at your side. And that's one of our goals, really, in crafting this Visions of Nzoth feature and these horrific visions.
What?
This is an experience that you can go into entirely solo and work your way through, making progress further and further each time as you gain the benefit of Titan research, understand the tricks and the threats posed by Nzoth's enemies, and eventually fully clear the vision at the end of your journey. Now, of course, you can also bring friends in with you. We've made this experience something that will scale seamlessly from 1 to 5 players, regardless of your role, and the rewards are equal regardless of the size of your group.
That's
we
what
want to let you experience this the way that best suits your playstyle. We can't wait to let players check this out on the PTR and hear from you what you
We're
think.
only halfway done.
All of this is
awesome.
leading to a showdown with Nzoth himself. And that journey is going to take us into the sprawling raid that is the centerpiece of this content update.
So it's straight up the raid too.
A 12-boss raid that showcases the full splendor of the Black Empire.
Damn.
We're going to have to fight our way through the military might of Nzoth's minions, disgusting spawning pools that have created the corruptions that we've seen across the years,
bosses, though. Fuck.
the insectoid allies and minions of Nzoth, those humans that have decided to embrace his cause of corruption, and much more. At the end of this journey awaits the old god himself.
Wow, dude, hold on, man. That skybox looks, whoo, that looks dope. I wonder if that's like a vision or something, or if that's like, well, I guess we're in the realm.
Himself. We're going to need all of our allies, all of our might, all that we have learned through our research, our work with Magni, and channeling the power of Azeroth herself in order to emerge triumphant and save Azeroth. We also have a number of changes coming to our reward systems with Visions of Nzoth. In addition to the legendary cloak that I mentioned earlier, that you can earn an upgrade to defend yourself against Nzoth's assaults, we'll also have new levels for the Heart of Azeroth that come with it both passive benefits and an all-new essence slot. Now that slot can be filled by a number of new essences that you'll be able to earn through content such as the assaults on Uldum and Vale of Eternal Blossoms, delving into Horrific Visions, our new Mythic Plus season, PvP, the Nyalotha raid, and more.
I mean, I know we might get a preview of what those are, but it's like, cool, we're gonna get like upgrades to like this expansion feature and all that, but we're gonna say goodbye to it by the end, and that's, you know, that leaves that takes some of the thunder out of the excitement. It's a little, so it's exciting, but at the same time I'm like, cool, it's gonna be great while it lasts and all that. So I'm gonna be really interested, well, maybe by the end of this video, or you know, when BlizzCon comes around, like what's gonna happen with essences.
And also, as we're seeing assaults by the minions of Nzoth on Titan Forges around the world, we have to wonder, is it possible that these assaults on Titan Forges might somehow change the nature of Titan forging? This is something we are still discussing, and we are working on a plan that we'll be able to roll out in the very near future, but we're excited about the idea of embracing the old god threat this time around to replace Titan forging with something a bit different, something a bit more twisted and corrupt, that also ideally works to preserve the value of item level and the correlation between doing difficult content and getting the best rewards. Also coming in Visions of...
What? That's it? You don't talk about Void Forging? Done. Void Forging. But come on. They're like, see, like, here's our balls, and here's Blizzard. It's like, come on.
Nzoth. At long last, are a couple of new allied races joining the Horde and the Alliance.
We're gonna get snakes, and no, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be foxes and gnomes. Watch.
First off, on the Horde side, in a shock to everyone, I'm sure, we have the Volpera of Vol'dun, who will be joining the Horde.
Oh my god! Super surprised reaction. Yeah.
And if you've completed the Vol'dun level up questline and you're exalted with the Vol'dunai, you'll be able to jump in Visions of Nzoth, complete a questline, and run around as a Volpera of your very own.
I know one person that's going to be super happy.
Sorry.
Wait.
On the Alliance side, in the meantime, the Mechanomes, alpaca not included.
Oh, no alpaca mount? That's weak.
Sorry. On the Alliance side, in the meantime, the Mechanomes of Mechagon are...
More surprise! Although I really like that look. That I'm a little bit envious about, because that looks pretty sweet. I don't know how they're gonna like actually look. That looks kind of, yeah. Anyway,
are joining their gnomish brethren on the Alliance. Grateful for
Still
the aid
cool.
that's been rendered in overthrowing the despotic rule of King Mechagon. The Mechanomes will complete a quest line for those of you who are exalted with Mechagon and can join the Alliance, and you too can have a gnome of your very own with a robot arm and or leg your choice.
That
I'm also
part's
happy
cool.
to share
I like
that we're adding new
customization.
Heritage Armor quest lines for the recently updated Goblin and Worgen, coming in Visions of Nzoth.
Show me.
On the Goblin side, you'll be able to earn this perfectly suitable set, complete with explosives and rockets and everything else that makes a Goblin's cold heart happy.
It's very Horde-like. Like it looks like a Warfront set, like a fusion between a Warfront set and being the Goblin. But I don't know, like for me, my vision of a Goblin is like some rich bitch in a top hat. It's a Gallywix look-alike. You know what I mean? Not so much the Goblin Sapper look, which is what they're clearly going for here. I prefer like, you know, the Goblin rich kind of look. But okay, dude, look at his foot. He's got like a screw straight up in his foot. That is very dangerous.
Happy. And of course, for Worgen,
bullshit. They get a hat. Fuck you guys. They get a hat. A gold hat. That's not fair. Now I'm like, I want a hat. I'm still not gonna roll Worgen.
Worgen would be complete without a top hat that you can at long last use to express your true snooty inner self.
Yeah.
Or just walk around as a wolf.
Yeah, snooty ass, bitch ass
Top
alliance.
hat. Who doesn't want to do that, really? Also coming with Visions of Nzoth.
There's a disparity here, guys. Come on, man. Alliance bias. Oh, look at me in my proper top hat and my bee mount. I'm just messing.
You can at long last use to express
that's still
your
pretty
true
cool.
snooty inner self.
Sort of.
Or just walk around as a wolf in a top hat.
Sort
Who
of.
doesn't want to do that, really? Also coming with Visions of Nzoth is a complete overhaul of our auction house. This isn't just a UI reskin, but we actually redesigned and rebuilt the guts of the system to make it faster, more performant, and to get rid of those annoying single stacks that literally no one likes. We recognize that there are hundreds of thousands of transactions happening across our auction houses on a regular basis, and we want to create a modern system that's smooth and easy to use.
Just as a pro tip, though, first week, don't use the auction house. Don't use add-ons with the auction house. I'm sure it's gonna fuck up so bad, and people are gonna lose tens of millions of gold just screwing things up. So yeah, just that's a really quick, probably gonna happen. Yeah.
In redesigning the auction house, we had a couple of major goals. First off, we wanted to make the whole thing smoother and more performant. This is something that we started working on right around the launch of Battle for Azeroth, when folks may remember the auction houses were clogged with tons and tons of single stacks.
Shit was
and
lagging
searches,
like
and even purchasing or selling things might take several seconds or upwards of a minute in some unfortunate cases. We want to make sure that never happens again. Separately, we want to tailor the auction house functionality to the way that most people use it most frequently. And so, if you're just somebody who goes to the auction house periodically to buy consumables for your raid or to sell some extra stacks of cloth or ore, you want to make that as smooth and as seamless a process as possible. The first major change that we've made is separating out stackable items
that
to
looks
effectively
cool.
create a separate
Holy
commodities market.
What?
Stackable items to effectively create a separate.
That's wait. Okay, so here he's buying 100. And then it's just going through a bunch of, oh, wow. Hey, this has that kind of Diablo, this kind of has the same feel as the Diablo 3 auction house, like the real money auction house when you were just trying to buy mass quantities of stuff. And what the engine would do, it would pull between multiple auctions that people were trying to sell. And now it's just buying from a whole shitload of auctions at once. That's pretty damn sweet.
That we've made is separating out stackable items to effectively create a separate commodities market, where you can just go list a stack of ore or cloth or potions, and people who are purchasing them can purchase portions of a stack. There's no more sense of there's one of this and two of this. There just happen to be 117 pieces of ore at this price, listed by 7 or 8 different buyers. If you want to buy them, you can just buy 15 pieces. It'll buy part of someone's stack, send them the gold. If you've listed a stack and only part of it sold, you'll get the gold for what's sold and the remainder back in the mail to you.
That's I mean, it sounds complicated at first thought. It's just like there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. I'm wondering like if there's going to be like pennies, like little bits of copper and whatnot that we either end up being generated from these kinds of purchases, or if we end up losing because they're kind of rounding up or down and all around and all that stuff.
Also, we have the ability to favorite items and create a shopping list for yourself. So if you regularly forget the name of that specific cut of gem or that consumable, you can just have a checklist that you can quickly search for and buy on the go. And on the selling side, you won't have to worry about stack sizes as you're listing your goods, and undercutting is much less of a factor in the market as it plays out in practice.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we've just tried to offer improved functionality, a smoother interface, and faster responsiveness for people on all sides of the market, as well as some of the power users out there. We can't wait for people to check it out on the PTR, let us know what you think, and we'll be listening to see any further improvements we can make. So that's just some of what Visions of Nzoth has to offer. Also coming in this content update is a heroic version of the Darkshore Warfront, a new PvP season, Season 4 of Battle for Azeroth, with, of course, all new rewards, and a new mythic keystone affix that reflects Nzoth's corrupting influence as his tendrils spread their way across Azeroth. With this corrupted affix active, when you go into a dungeon in Season 4, you'll see occasional Black Empire obelisks dotting the landscape. Interacting with one of these obelisks will pull you into an alternate world where we see Nzoth's power ascendant and a powerful lieutenant of his stands guard. Defeating that lieutenant will return you to your regular reality, but will do so in whatever location you're currently standing when that mini-boss is defeated. This will enable some interesting skips that don't involve the use of Shroud of Concealment or Invisibility.
Oh, so you can go in.
Now, of course, if you keep these minions alive, and you just decide to ignore them entirely, they may come and pay you a visit as you're fighting the final boss of the dungeon. So you'll want to strategize very carefully as you approach dungeons with the corrupted affix in play during BFA Season 4. Now, you may be wondering when you're going to get to check all of this out. Well, I'm very happy to announce that we're working literally as I speak on getting this uploaded to our public test realm for the entire world, and we should have it live later today.
Oh, shit.
You'll be able to jump in, check out assaults by Nzoth's minions,
I'm going to be busy
into
today.
Your very first horrific visions, and much more. And just after that, stay tuned for news regarding multiplayer raid testing and more. Thank you all so much for listening very closely to all of your feedback from the PTR. And just around the corner after that, see you at BlizzCon.
Damn, that's going to be busy. Well, there you have it. So that's the reaction. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you were slightly entertained. I certainly was. Damn, there's a lot. Okay, where's the feature thing? I saw it just now. Boom.
Single step.
All right, so the assault, having more assaults, that's cool. I'm wondering like exactly where these assaults are going to be taking place. Are they going to be like around Coultiers and Zandlar? Or are they going to be across the old world? Or are they just at the Titan facilities? I think it was something like that. So like I wonder how the interaction with that is going to work, or are we going to have to bum our ass like all the way over to these these places? The horrific visions I'm sort of a fan of already, at least just from watching this footage right here. The idea of having like some single player progressive kind of content that has a bit of not exactly a roguelike feel, but it has a progressive feel similar to Wither Training, similar to the Deaths of Chromie scenario. I think that is, depending on how long tail of a content path that is, I think that can offer some cool stuff. I just don't know what they are. Void Forging, I don't know. Basically, Blizzard hasn't told us shit about that yet, so I guess I'm not gonna hold my breath on that stuff. New allied races were entirely expected from the get-go. New heritage armor, that was also not much of a surprise at all. I'm still jealous of Worgen getting like cool stuff and goblins are getting stuff that's very in character to them. All the way back to the Goblin Sapper days of Warcraft 2. I think it was Warcraft 2. But so not a lot of hate there. The auction house overall, I'm excited about, but they didn't talk about Community Finder, Guild Finder. Bullshit. Come on, man. Like, it's still not... It's a little upsetting to not have much of a... to really still not have news about that stuff. So, the auction house stuff is cool. So far, this sounds good so far. Now, from the looks of it, this is, I guess I'm wondering to myself, okay, when are some of these things going to be featured? Like, Ny'alotha, of course, isn't going to start until Season 4 starts. But then how are Assaults and Horrific Visions? How's that going to play in? And then there's, of course, the timeline. With the Assaults and Horrific Visions, it looks like that's going to have a bit longer tail of content. So, for all I know, I could be wrong. 8.3 may very well launch December-ish instead of January. But hopefully, like, what's going to come from that is going to last long enough to last like the 5 or 6 weeks or so before Season 4 begins. It's really going to depend on that, because I know that the player reaction to that before was pretty poop. But so far, I think there's a lot to be excited about 8.3 so far. Once we get some more clarifications and get some more actual information as to what's going on, we'll have to find out. But I'm going to be jumping into the PTR, so keep an eye on streams for that. Starting like tomorrow morning or so, we're going to jump right in and see what's going on with that. Probably look at some of Wildhead's data mining, and yeah, so big news. So far, this kind of goes along the timeline that I've been predicting so far. Again, it's just a matter of when 8.3 will actually launch, but it doesn't seem like it's going to stray too far off the schedule. It's just a matter of weeks or so, but we'll see. This is exciting. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna at least stop I'm gonna stop this recording. I'll talk with folks on stream in a little bit, but yeah, hope you enjoyed yourself. I'll see you for the next thing that I do. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.